Hey, True Believers, Englentine here with another episode of Comic Geek News. Now we're going to be talking about this little cartoon right here, as well as a bit of the Mike Miller controversies that's been going on. I think somebody needs to say what I've got to say. Also, Image seems to want to save the comic book industry, so we're going to be speaking on that as well. So kick back, relax, and here we go. Over on YouTube, there's a channel called Star Wars Kids that are showing these little short cartoons called Star Wars Galaxy of Adventure, and this basically gives kids an idea of what happened in the movies. Why you wouldn't show them the original movies is beyond me, but they're actually kind of fun. They're a little stylized, a little bit anime-ish, and they do capture the spirit, if not the exact telling of. I think it's ignorant that you would show your children this and not the actual movies, but okay. The problem is they did one called Princess Leia versus Stormtroopers about how she was rescued, except for no, she didn't get rescued. She rescued the guys, and my goodness gracious, it ignores Star Wars canon, which amazes me because you literally have the blueprint that you could just animate and then put out there. Unfortunately, watch this.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
Luke, we're gonna have company!
First mistake, right out the gate too, man. Look at this. Now, okay, I understand that when he comes in, she goes, "Aren't you a little small to be a stormtrooper?" That means she just noticed something was wrong. As soon as she heard that Ben Kenobi was with her, she was up, she was excited. She understood she cannot escape at this point without help. And from here on in, it was a team effort for her escape. Granted, she had smarminess, she was snarky, and that's awesome. That's what, you know, one of the things that made Princess Leia a strong character. This, however, oh my gosh. Yeah, okay, you disinterested smug bitch, just sit and stew. I'm gonna go elsewhere.
This is some rescue.
This is a little more accurate because she was irritated that you had a plan to get in, you didn't have a plan to get out, and almost immediately takes control. However, Luke was trying to get communications to find out another route. He wasn't sitting there going kapoo kapoo with his tongue hanging out, and that's the problem. There's teamwork here. They were all equally competent and incompetent. They helped each other out. It wasn't that Princess Leia was so strong because the other guys were weak, and that is what these guys who do this kind of thing don't realize. Women aren't strong because the men around them are weak. Princess Leia is a strong character because she proved she could be a leader, that she didn't need the guys around her to be weak. She could lead them anyway. My gosh. You know, it's bothersome that they will never see this. Like, they'll watch this video and go, he hates strong women. Gosh, shut up.
In the galaxy of adventures, sometimes the princess does the rescuing.
In the original scene, Luke Skywalker isn't trying to figure out how to work his gun, which, by the way, even in this cartoon, you see him working. And she doesn't get annoyed, grab it, and then jump out and make herself a target. Instead, she grabs the gun, immediately shoots the wall out of the garbage chute that they're going to go down, and then into the garbage chute flyboy. Nope, never happened. Alrighty, so it starts off, actually Luke is firing the gun for quite a while until he gets the idea of swinging across the ravine that they're stuck at. And then he says, "Here, hold this," and he starts to pull the line out of the belt he has. Not once does he get tangled into it, and not once does Leia slap him out of the way. And, by the way, the exchange of fire, there's quite a few shots there. This isn't an instance of her turning around, shooting one shot for everybody, killing them all. It takes a few. This is the ultimate example of teamwork for them to get across this ravine, and yet, what it turns into here.
Wait, Leia!
This one doesn't bother me so much because it can be symbolic. I mean, ultimately, she did lead the rebellion while on Hoth, so this is just, you know, she is the leader of it and pointing, you know, that kind of thing. So, but in the movie, of course, she was never on a snowbank like this. So, once again, why show these cartoons when the movies are accessible? Even the freaking George Lucas abomination bastardizations of them would be better than this cartoon. Groan.
What are you doing? Somebody has to save our skins.
What a vile and shrewish character they turned Princess Leia into, man. Ah, look at this. Look at this. And that didn't happen, guys. I mean, okay, yeah, she blasted out the garbage chute, and she did say the words, "into the garbage chute, flyboy." That being said, it's... oh, gosh. She wasn't standing being a target. She blasted it and then ran across and jumped in. She was the first one in, gang. But what do we have instead of what happened in the movie? We have this. Yep, sorry. Chewbacca complains about a smell. Han Solo says, "I don't care what you smell, get in there," and then kicks him in the ass to get him in. That's it. But nope, for some reason, once again, weak men is the only way you can have strong women, according to whoever did this. And the problem is they greenlit this. They watched this and went, "That's exactly the way it happened." And it didn't. Man, what a fail on everybody's part. This is pure agenda, and it's wrong. Okay, next up, I've had a couple of people ask me what I thought about what Mike Miller did with Rango's original cover art, and then, of course, him putting Jesus messages into a comic book. It's his property, by the way. He bought it. Is it a douchey thing to do? Yeah, I actually think it was, but he could do whatever he wants with his property. So that part, you just, okay. I think he should have kept it, though. I think it would be like, oh, you know what? Nope, I'm going to put it on the wall or something. Now, the worst part was he signed his name to it. That, you know, it's your work, man. If Rango said, "Hey, I would love to do a cover with you," then yeah, putting his name to it is understandable. But this is your idea. It's all you. He had nothing to do. That was the one part, man, that I didn't like. Otherwise, do I agree with it? No. But it's his freaking property. So, yeah, it's kind of two minds on the subject. And then, of course, Bleeding Cool went after him for putting religious messages in X-Men comics. Of course, they're going to be talking about X Factor, but I guess they put X-Men in there to get more clicks. Apparently, he worked with Joe Harris on this X Factor book. Joe Harris shared the story on Facebook, and then Bleeding Cool asked them to use it here, so that's what we're going to be talking about. Mike S. Miller drew the second comic book I ever wrote, X Factor 147, a fill-in story young Joe remembers being proud of. Okay, if you're going to put your own thoughts in, that needs to be separated, because it actually sounds like Joe is actually saying, "Hey, young Joe remembers being proud of," and then you have, "though that was a long time ago," in parentheses. It's just bad writing. And an allegorical tale about being different, being treated like the mob at school felt you deserved, under the not-so-subtle title Bashed and Human Nature Once Sides Are Chosen. Once again, put that at the end, by the way. But looking back over this issue, I'm most reminded of how I had to try to artfully place caption narration to cover all the unscripted Jesus saves and evolution Aetherian crisis type messages he'd scribbled and hidden throughout the damn thing. Which it has been pointed out more than once that he's now against putting those kind of messages in. Well, maybe not those kind, but messages from extremist sides of either political point of view. Here's one instance that jumps out on a flip through the pages. I think we might have covered a lot of stuff up with caption and balloon placements. Did what we could, if memory serves. Now, I can understand this, because that is more prominent than the characters. The characters are actually below the sign here, but this was the important part. And now, I also understand why some people would see it as disrespectful, because they covered up the Jesus part. But the truth is, I don't know, this kind of thing actually changes the story because it changes the focus on the page. The focus isn't what the kids are saying, what they're talking about. The focus is Jesus saves. If it was in the background, on a church in the background, I could see it more acceptable. But yeah, I would have a problem with that as well. Yeah, if I were the writer of the book, because like once again, kind of changes the message of the page. Remember the 11th commandment, says Rich Johnston, thou shalt troll people over the memory of a much-loved dead friends. Man, I don't know these comic creators trying to shoehorn their political opinions in where they are not wanted. Maybe someone should start a hashtag against that or whatnot. That's kind of clever. You know, good one. That's a good jab there, Rich. That being said, his position only really holds water if you believe people can't change. Maybe Mike's not so much into it. Now, if it's his own book, by all means, put all the religious symbolism you want to in it. But if you're working on other characters, does he still do that? People can change, Rich. Just saying. Find me a modern example of him doing this on a character that he doesn't own, and then I'm with you. Otherwise, yeah, this is a non-issue in my opinion. Image negates retailer uncertainty with no risk. #1's program plus double down discounts. Looks like Image is trying to save the comic book industry. Image Comics has established 2 programs to support direct market retailers, No Risk #1s and Double Down Discount. The No Risk #1s program will allow comic store retailers to order a selection of new #1 issues with no risk and no additional order requirements. Listen up, Marvel. The titles will be fully returnable and will not require strip cover returns. There is no special program. Retailers must just have a standard diamond account. The first title to join the program is Little Bird #1 by Darcy Van Poelgeest, excuse me if I said that wrong, and Ian Bertram. FOC is February 18. This just seems like a smart thing to do for all companies. Hey, we've got a new #1 out here. Now, granted, you could do it with just series and miniseries rather than, say, like the one-shots that the Marvel always likes to do. But, yeah, hey, look, there's a #1 on the shelf, and they can order enough to let retailers and customers discover it without the risk. And at the end of the day, say, here you go. Thank you very much. These didn't sell. That's an awesome thing right there, I think. Anyway, it goes to say the Double Down Discount program offers retailers an additional discount for maintaining a specific percentage of their orders from the previous issue of a series. Specific qualifiers and additional discounts will then be announced for each issue in their listings. The first title featured is Criminal by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. I did another commercial here, didn't I? So do I think this is going to save the comic book industry? No. Not the way we know it. Comic book shops are more and more becoming pop culture shops anyway. And I don't think Marvel would jump on board with this because they're Marvel. They believe that they don't have to. You know, people want Spider-Man. People want Avengers and Captain America and Black Panther. And Marvel believes they're holding all the cards. And at some point, that's going to turn on them. But for now, no, I don't think it's going to change very much. So anyway, it goes on to say, we are constantly looking for new ways to support direct market retailers, and based on feedback we received from them over the last year, we believe the best way to do that is by reducing risk without adding conditions or catches to the ordering process, said Eric. That's what I hear from comic shop owners as well. A lot of it has to do with that. I mean, we got that one message from Phil Boyle from Coliseum of Comics down here in Florida. And he talked about that kind of thing a lot. Ultimately, I think this will benefit Image more than the actual comic book industry unless we see the big 2 jumping in and doing the same thing. Once we see that, okay, that's going to help a lot. But until then, this will definitely promote Image Comics. Yeah, that's, I guess, my take on it. But what did you think about Image trying to save the comic book industry, or the Mike Miller controversies, or even the Star Wars? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like these news videos, just click on anything you see popping up right here and check out another one. Hope you have fun with them. Also, don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because that's what YouTube really cares about. Don't forget to go on over to Patreon or to Ko-Fi to help out the channel and drop $1 in the till. Helps keep making videos for you. Thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.